This was our NewsNation exclusive that night, as Bryan was the only reporter there after the raid. He could even hear the voices of the Kohbergers inside their home. He knocked on the door, respectfully stood back, and could hear them through that glass window. If you take a really close peek and squint, you can see the duct tape that they'd put over it since the cops had to break in. He could hear them whispering, don't open the door. Bryan Enton is live with me now. Okay, I have so much I need to talk to you about, Bryan. I don't even know where you want to start, but let's just start with this new reporting about another job that he lost, another firing. But this one was significant because he had professional training on how to fillet with an industry standard knife.
Yeah, this was really interesting. Our friend Jennifer Koffendorfer helped to dig this up. Basically, this goes back to 2011 from when Kohberger was in high school. He worked at that fish shop for about 4 months, and his job, and he was trained to cut and fillet raw fish. So he was handy with the knife, but he didn't do so well with the customers, as you mentioned. The owner of the shop said didn't really get along with customers, wasn't really polite to customers. The owner realized very, very quickly that he really wasn't a front of the house type employee, and essentially he really just didn't work out at all. And after about 4 months, he no longer worked there anymore.
So let's move on to another topic, because I find this also fascinating. So much is being done in secret in Idaho. I understand why there's a gag order, but it seems to be overwhelming. Like everything is falling under this gag order. And now we're learning of a secret meeting that happened about this gag order. What have you found out?
Yeah, so this meeting was actually about Ann Taylor, the public defender representing Kohberger. There's been all these questions about whether there is a conflict because there were these, there was this reporting and her name was listed on the documents that had to do with Xana Kernodle's mother when she was arrested. And did she represent Xana Kernodle, and could she actually represent Bryan Kohberger too? Was that a conflict? Well, there was this Zoom meeting. It was back on January 27th between the judge, Kohberger was also involved, and Ann Taylor. And there is now a transcript that has just been released of what happened during that meeting. And it's very interesting, Ashleigh, and there is new information about this. Essentially, Ann Taylor told the judge that her name appears on every document in the public defender's office because she is the chief public defender. She says that Xana's mom had a different public defender, that Ann Taylor was not her lawyer, that she has never had any contact with Xana's mom, no relationship ever with Xana's mom, and never offered any legal advice to Xana's mom, and that there really is no conflict there. The judge seems to have agreed based on the transcript. Kohberger at the end of this meeting said that he still wanted Ann Taylor to be his public defender. And the meeting was ended, and apparently that's why things moved forward, and they decided there wasn't a conflict, Ashleigh.
What I find fascinating about that is if Ann Taylor were so confident of this, I was simply on the masthead of the documents as the head of the public defender office, then why did they send over a state police officer to interview Kara Kernodle in jail, because we have discovered this, and flash pictures at her to see if she recognized Ann Taylor? If they were so confident that they hadn't represented her, why did they need to actually go into the jail and do a lineup for Kara Kernodle to identify whether she had or had not, worked directly with Ann Taylor? I think there's more to this story that we still need to figure out, but it's certainly fascinating to finally get a little sunlight on some court documents. Bryan Enton, thank you. And thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.